In another special interview on Front Row series on Economy.lk, we are privileged to have with us a Member of Parliament from the United Kingdom, Honourable Ranil Jayawardena, here with us, who is also, incidentally, recently appointed as the Prime Minister's Special Envoy for Trade towards Sri Lanka as well. So, pleasure having you for this brief interview and to get your insights. So, on what I mentioned in terms of the recent appointment as a trade envoy, what does that entail in terms of the role and the facilitation that it will bring about in terms of improving trade and investment flows?
Well, I'm delighted to be here and delighted to have been appointed, given my family connections through my father. I have a particular interest in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka and Britain have a long trading relationship. We're still Sri Lanka's third largest trading partner, and I think there's a lot more that we can do together. So my remit is to do just that, to help British businesses work with Sri Lankan businesses and indeed also with the Sri Lankan government to facilitate the way forward to deliver more infrastructure, more energy, better technology that everyone benefits from. And ultimately, I'm in politics because I want to help people. I want to help people in the UK, and through this role I also hope I'll be able to help people in Sri Lanka.
I think what you meant was also building on some of the recent successes. What would you say are some of, in terms of trade and investment successes within the High Commission, with what Sri Lanka has done? What would you highlight as?
Well, so without going into specifics, because of commercial confidentiality, we've had some good success in engineering, advanced engineering, which I think is really important. We can bring some expertise, capability here to deliver the projects that the Sri Lankan government wants to deliver for people. And also we've had successes in services and financial services, which of course is my background as well. So I'm very pleased that this is being demonstrated here and now, but also we have the opportunity to do much more in the future.
Just a quick final one as well. I think moving forward as well, a lot of things are changing within Sri Lanka, reform process, the environment is changing even around Britain and UK. What would be the priority sectors moving forward that will mutually benefit both countries and the people, as you mentioned?
Well, I'm pleased you've asked that, because I think there are three broad buckets of policy and sectors that we should be looking at. I've sort of touched on them in passing. First is infrastructure, and this is an issue in the UK as much as it is here, and I think there's huge potential for us to work together. There's some British businesses that are world-renowned. They are experts in what they do. They can deliver things quickly and at a fair price in a very honest way, and I think there's a lot we can do, British businesses with the Sri Lanka government, to deliver the sorts of things that people here want. So whether that's bridge building in rural areas, whether that's new schools, new hospitals, those are things that British businesses have great capability in, and we're able to deliver very quickly and at a good price. UK Export Finance is able to offer very competitive terms globally, and without trying to hide any pricing behind the scenes later. So it's really important that Britain provides top quality services, top quality goods, and in an honest and fair way. And then the economy can only be helped further with that infrastructure, but also underpinned with energy. And so both in terms of LNG, where, for example, we've got world-leading corporations based in the UK. We've got the capability to provide not just LNG and traditional energy, providing energy security today, but also renewable energies for tomorrow, which would provide domestically generating energy in a clean way and in a sustainable way that's to the benefit of people across the island, to the benefit of our environment also, if we get those things right. And with that energy being generated, you can be then sure that the economy can continue to develop. And energy is absolutely critical as we move into a more technological age, and that would be the third area that I think is absolutely critical to the economic development of both the UK and of Sri Lanka. and some very good examples of that already in terms of the services space. London Stock Exchange Group has a base here. That's, I think, a very important relationship, and there's more to be done, but also in the goods and manufacturing space, where technological transfer from the UK to Sri Lanka can really help Sri Lanka's growth, as the government of Sri Lanka has already begun negotiating FTAs with regional partners. And there's the opportunity, if Sri Lanka grasps it, to work with British businesses to transfer that technology here, deliver that content locally, and therefore sell into regional markets, making the benefit for Sri Lankan businesses and therefore Sri Lankan jobs and Sri Lankan people. So I'm really positive about all of that. There's so much more that could be done, but I know we've only got a few minutes in this interview.
Yes. Thank you so much for being on Economy.lk and sharing your insights. I think it was quite insightful, not only for the private sector, which are looking at Britain, looking at the UK for more trade and investment opportunities, but also what we can look forward to in terms of investment, and I think for the general public as well. So stay tuned for our viewers, stay tuned for more analysis, more insights, more interviews such as this on Economy.lk.